Hey everybody, this is Kevin from Waydoo USA, North American distributor for Waydoo eFoils. Here to give you just some tech features, some specs, and some general information about our Powerflight Cell Battery. We've been getting a lot of questions lately, so I figured I would go through it. The Powerflight Cell Battery is 32,500 milliamp hours. It's a 6,000 watt battery. It is just over 30 pounds, and it powers the Waydoo eFoil as well as some of the Waydoo eFoil accessories like our Flyer outboard motor. There's another video for that if you'd like to check that out. But yeah, we're just going to go through again some basic care, maintenance, troubleshooting, and features of the Powerflight Cell Battery. Now the basic components of your Powerflight Cell Battery are the battery casing, the battery management system, which has the screen, your Bluetooth button, and your power button, and your nice handle here. On the back side, you're going to have your connection point and also a pressure release valve. So very simple, not a lot of components on the exterior. Makes it pretty easy to use and pretty easy to know which button to press when you are using it. Now, when using these two buttons, if the battery is not connected, you press the power button and it's going to give you a status report of the battery. Essentially, it's just going to tell you how much battery life you have. You're going to have the indicator lights, the last one of which will be blinking. So I believe 4 battery lights is going to be a full charge battery, and then down to 3, 2, 1. But it's just going to show you the power that you have remaining in the battery. The battery is not designed to stay on if it's not plugged in to another one of the accessories, whether that be the power unit or the board via another one of the accessories. So again, the power button, when the battery is not plugged in, you press that one time, that is going to show you how much battery life you have via the screen here on the battery management system. The other button here is the Bluetooth button. This button is used for general connectivity, whether that's connecting the battery to a charger or connecting it to the board if you hook it up. If you look at our manual syncing procedure in another video, you'll see that you use the Bluetooth button for connecting the board manually if it does not connect automatically. You'll also use this Bluetooth board for updating. So again, when you're connecting it to anything, whether you're connecting it to your phone, you're connecting it to the remote, the Bluetooth button is the button that you're going to use. Typically in most powering sequences or connectivity sequences, you're going to use a short press followed by a long press in order to enable any of those sequences. Again, whether it's using the Bluetooth to connect to an app to connect to your board, or whether it's using the power button to power the board on. Typically it's going to be that short press followed by that long press. So again, 2 basic buttons. You have your Bluetooth button and your power button. When the battery is unplugged, the only thing you're going to be able to get from it is a status report by hitting that power button one time, and then you're going to see the display there, which shows you how much battery life you have. Now for the bottom side of the battery. Only 3 things on here, all very important. One of which is your warning label. It's going to have a lot of the key safety and maintenance features, some of which we'll go over here in a later segment of the video. You also have your pressure release valve. It's automatic. You don't have to mess with it. Don't have to do anything with it. And the main component here, your connector. Connector is going to be the lifeline of the battery. It's where all the power comes from. It's the only thing that you use to plug the battery into an outside component other than the Bluetooth. Now the connector, very, very important to keep this dry and clean when you're connecting it. It does come with an O-ring. You have extra O-rings as well in your setup when you buy your Waydoo Flyer 1. The O-rings are relatively maintenance free. I haven't had too many nicks or scratches, but it is good every now and then to check this and make sure that it is functioning properly. Now, if you're rinsing your battery off, and it's not plugged into anything, of course, you might have a situation where you get a little bit of water on it. That's totally fine. Just make sure when you actually go to plug it in to the charger, to an accessory, to the board, that it is clean, free of debris, and dry. Now, you're going to run into situations where, especially if you have a dual 2 battery setup, that you're swapping batteries out on the beach or swapping batteries out on the boat. That's fine, but again, make sure that you take the time to swap them out on land, on the boat, in a dry place. Use a towel, whatever you need. There are certain greases, lubricants that you can use, as long as they're plastic safe and electric safe, that can aid in making sure that there's no water and making sure that this stays clean and properly maintained for connection. But again, above and beyond all else, as long as it's dry, as long as it's clean, you'll save yourself a lot of headache. Okay, so general care and safety of the battery. One, again, like I said before, making sure you rinse it, making sure the connector is clean of debris, making sure that it's dry. Very, very important. Clean, cool, dry are the main things that I would say about battery care and maintenance. So when you store it in a cool, dry place. You want to make sure that the battery is 40 to 60% charged is what they recommend for a storage charge capacity. So don't leave the battery fully charged for extended periods of time. Making sure that you charge the battery up essentially the day of. If you do have a defective battery and you have to dispose of it, follow the safety guidelines for your local legislation or wherever the rules are where you currently live. We will have a link in our description to people in the United States, a nice website where you can type in the website. You can type in your zip code rather, and they'll give you the closest site to you for disposal. But normally, wherever you do your recycling, typically that's where you're going to dispose of batteries. You never want to throw lithium-ion batteries in general, but especially large ones like this, just away in the trash. So disposing of those properly if you have a defective battery. If you do need to do any kind of warranty report, the serial number of the battery is located right here on the front of the top, just below this barcode here. So that's the serial number that they'll be looking for if you do need to do any kind of warranty work with the battery. For storage also, Waydoo has been sending out a few of these fireproof bags. It's always a good idea to have some kind of fireproof bag or fireproof box for any kind of large lithium-ion battery. So that is always an added safety measure that we do recommend, just for general safety purposes. Temperature for charging, they also recommend anywhere from 50 to 113 degrees Fahrenheit is what it says here. But yeah, I mean, I tried not to charge the battery outside in really, really hot conditions. Again, cool, dry, and clean are the best ways to care for and maintain these batteries. So, yep, if you got any other questions regarding care, maintenance, safety, refer to the guide on the back, your user guide, and or the website for additional information there. Okay, quick notes on troubleshooting. These are just a few things that we've seen here and there that would indicate that you do need a replacement battery or that you might need to do something in order to update your system in order to make your battery work properly. One, if you press this button again, you're supposed to get a status report to show you how much battery there is. In a few cases, if the battery is completely dead, you might not get a light here, but 99% of the time, when you turn it on, you should at least get one light to indicate that the battery does have some sort of charge and that the BMS is functioning properly. If you know you have a charge on the battery, but the screen is not working, then you might have a failed BMS, which definitely needs to be warranted. Another indicator, if you see lights on your battery, red lights that are blinking, you'll see these in a couple of cases. One, if you have an overheat in your power unit, you might see a blinking red light here. If you pick up some kind of debris or seaweed or things of that nature, you might get some kind of clog that might lead to an overheat. Your battery will show a red symbol, but then after a few minutes when it's cooled down, that symbol will go away, indicating that the debris is cleared, or at least that the ESC is cooled down and proper usage can ensue. So everything should be fine if you get that temporary red light, but for any other reason, if you're seeing a red blinking light when it's not plugged in, when you haven't been using the board, red blinking light on the battery could indicate an overheat sensor either in the BMS or the power unit. So again, that's something that I recommend filing a warranty claim on. If you are connecting your board and you try to turn the battery on and the status report shows, but the battery doesn't power up, you don't hear that musical noise that you typically hear when it's connecting, and the battery doesn't stay on. Typically, if it doesn't stay on, it has to do with the magnet. There's a magnet in the bottom of the battery that reacts with a magnet in the board. Now, those two magnets together react to keep the battery on in the event that the battery is connected. If the connection does not happen and the battery does not stay on, then you need to refer to our troubleshooting for what's called the magnet fix. You might need your magnet replaced, or you might need to shim your magnet in order for it to react with the battery. So good news is 9 times out of 10, that's something that's easily fixed, and it's something that you can do yourself at home. But still, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to email us, fill out a warranty claim for that as well. We'll take a look and see what we can do. Final note about the battery. Same thing we were talking about with the magnet fix goes the other way. If your battery is unplugged and it will not turn off. That is a defect in either the BMS, the power button, or the magnet. That is definitely indicative of something that is wrong with the battery that definitely needs to be taken care of via warranty. If this happens, for sure, store it in a cool, safe place. If the battery, ideally the battery should be discharged. Contact us immediately. Under no circumstances should you charge a faulty battery. If your battery is faulty, you have any kind of questions or concerns regarding the battery, best thing to do is contact us, store it in a safe, cool place. If you have a fiber-proof box, please use that. Contact us immediately. We will do what we can to either troubleshoot, replace your battery as soon as possible, and make sure that you get this to the proper place for disposal. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, please let us know. Kevin here with Waydoo USA. Thank you so much for the support. Let us know if you need anything else. Have a good one.